Real families, real farms, real food. Welcome to Arizona Agriculture Connection with Maricopa County Farm Bureau. My name is Nicole Clements, Executive Director, and I'll be your host. Maricopa County Farm Bureau is the voice of agriculture in a community that thrives on the dichotomy of urban and rural agriculture operations. This podcast is a home for farmers, ranchers, food lovers, prospective agriculturalists, and those looking to connect the food on their plate with the farm that it came from. As we take an inside look at agriculture in Arizona, we will delve into topics like ag technology, policy, food preparation, and everything in between. You can find us on your favorite podcast platform with new episodes every Wednesday. Arizona Agriculture Connection is hosted by Maricopa County Farm Bureau and sponsored by Paloma Ready Mix and Materials, a proud supporter of agriculture and our communities. Be sure to subscribe and share your favorite episodes with your friends. For more interactions, follow us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn at Maricopa County FB. Now let's discover some Arizona agriculture. Welcome back, Arizona Aggies, to another Ag Report episode of Arizona Agriculture Connection. We're coming to you today live from Denver, Colorado for the American Farm Bureau Fusion Conference. Fusion is a combination of the Young Farmers and Ranchers Committee, Women's Leadership Committee, and Promotion and Engagement Committee. We all gather in one place every other year to collaborate and work together to solve issues facing our agriculture. With me today, I have Young Farmer and Rancher member from Maricopa County, Krysta Paffrath, and we're going to dive into just a little bit about how the conference went and what to look forward to next year. So welcome.
Thank you so much, Nicole. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, so tell me, this was your first Fusion conference, so how was it?
Yeah, so this being my first year, I was blown away with just how inviting and honestly at home that I felt. And it's the same that we say in all of our meetings. Farm Bureau has a place for you regardless of your role in agriculture. And I felt that through and through at this event. So I can't wait to dive into a little more about that.
I love that. I love that for you. And I think especially if I can share a little bit, you know, you live in the heart of Mesa, right smack dab in the middle of the valley. And Farm Bureau is here for you as someone who is looking to connect with where their food comes from. And I think that just helps to showcase that Farm Bureau really has a place for everybody. And everything that we learned here this week has just been outstanding. And it's hard to beat the kind of collaboration and education that you can get at an event like this.
Yeah, absolutely, Nicole. And I think one of the conversations that kept coming up this weekend was that you don't have to be a producer, you don't have to be on a farm or a ranch to be involved with Farm Bureau, is you can still make a difference in your community just being passionate about agriculture, where your food comes from. And even in the Young Farmer and Rancher sector, the division, the program, so many kids don't come from an ag background anymore. While we do have those multi-generational kids that are super involved and have been going to Farm Bureau meetings since they were little kids, we also have this awesome new influx of people realizing that they have a seat at the table too. And I think that was so powerful to witness this weekend.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I want to preface that we use the term young in Young Farmer and Rancher pretty loosely. So that age range is 18 to 35. And I think it's a great opportunity for not only collegiates, but people coming out of their collegiate career and looking to expand. What does their career development look like? It's a great opportunity to get involved and kind of, you know, be surrounded with a group of like-minded people that are focused also on success for the future. Same thing with the Women's Leadership Committee. You know, I've been serving on that committee with Arizona Farm Bureau for 3 years now, and it's opened a lot of doors. It has provided me great opportunity to be involved and also to just be educated. As someone who's not originally from Arizona and I didn't grow up here, I found a family essentially, and it was great to be able to have that kind of education and that resource. And you know, it didn't matter if I had a question about Arizona ag or if I had a flat tire on the side of the road. I made this community and they accepted me, no questions asked, and it's just been quite the ride. But it's here in Denver specifically for Fusion has been one of the best conferences I think I've ever been to. And the breakouts, the information, the keynote speakers, it's been a lot to intake, but I'm walking away with so many ideas and kind of this rejuvenated passion about the future of Arizona ag and, you know, where we're going and what we're going to be able to do with it.
Yeah, absolutely. And with that, Nicole, we talked a little bit about what we wanted to talk about today. I'm dying to know, what were some of your favorite takeaways or some of your favorite key points from this weekend?
I think one of the biggest thing that hit home for me, especially with Arizona ag, right? We see it in the media all the time, and it feels almost a little doomsday. But in reality, the future of agriculture is bright. People got to eat. We all got to have food. We got to have fiber. So the future is bright, and we're a very adaptable community. We're going to continue evolving and adapting with whatever new technologies, new SOPs, anything that's coming down the pipeline. I think that's kind of what gets me about farmers and those in agriculture is we're always looking at the next horizon. Like, how can we be that 1% better? How can we save this much more water? How can we be this much more efficient? And that's the beauty of it, really.
No, one thing just to add on to that, Nicole, I think I was just so impressed. And for anybody else, this is the largest conference I have personally ever been to. We heard it a couple times this weekend. There were just about 1,200 people here between the P&E, women's leadership, and young farmers and ranchers. And like you said, to be in a room full of people working towards a common goal with the same values, regardless of the state they came from, how powerful is that? Like, just the energy in the room, regardless if you were in a breakout or if we were in a general session, like, it was palpable. Not only that, but for somebody that might be hesitant, or if it, like me, if it's your first time going to a really big conference like this, you could walk up to anybody and start a conversation and it would be fine. They would welcome you with open arms. So I think that was like the other thing for me, being hesitant coming into this, not sure where my place was. I felt right at home, regardless of who I was talking to.
Yeah. I think that's the nature of farmers and agriculturalists. We're all in this together. We support each other 1,000%. And, it doesn't matter what you look like or what state you come from or anything or what you grow or what you don't grow. We're all family. And the support system that you have just continues to grow, and the depth of that community. And I've been here in Arizona for 3 years and been going to Farm Bureau events since I got here. And now I have this whole community of people from all across the country. And I run into people, my friends from Louisiana and Massachusetts and Georgia. And you build this community even outside of Arizona. And that community is a resource. Mm-hmm. And I think not even just about ag, right? So within, my career development and leadership and just me growing as a person, I reach out to my friends in Arkansas and get their advice and how are you doing? And I have this problem, what do you think? What is your idea, your opinion, or, how do we solve this together? Because I think at the end of the day, that's what it's about, is we're not all out on an island. We're on this island together, right? And so how do we support each other? And I think Farm Bureau does one of the best organizations at bringing people together in this community. And events like this just serve as such a great host of education and information. And again, not just about ag. I was pushed outside of my comfort zone, absolutely, in some of those breakout sessions, but that only helps continue to help me grow as a person, as a leader in my career. I work for these farmers and I love them so much, but sometimes how do you wrangle all of these things? And it's not a unique problem. And having that community to bounce off of and work with it's invaluable.
Yeah, I completely agree. And for me, again, I keep talking about, the things that I saw for the first time or things I was exposed to for the first time. I'm just barely a year into my entire experience with Farm Bureau, not just young farmers and ranchers, but Farm Bureau as a whole. So one thing that was really cool for me to witness and to see this weekend was the discussion meets. I had no idea what those were, and I'm pretty sure I exhausted the poor gal I was talking to, asking her all the questions about how it was formatted, how it was judged, how does this even work? And it was really cool because we did have Madison Ramirez, who got into the Sweet 16, and she hasn't been in Farm Bureau for very long. And she performed outstandingly well. I was so impressed, not just with her, but honestly, the caliber of young people that were sitting up at those tables discussing different topics that would come up at a Farm Bureau policy meeting, just really learning how to have a constructive conversation in a competitive format was mind-blowing to me. I think it took what we were taught in 4-H and FFA and put it on steroids. I'm like, this is insane.
Absolutely. I think that's one of my favorite parts about it is I grew up in 4-H and FFA and did all the speaking competitions and livestock judging and horse judging, and I've given reasons, all very formal, right? But Farm Bureau, even with the competition, is very rooted in actuality. These are actual problems that these kids are discussing and finding solutions for. And is it a practice? Yes. Was I taking notes the whole time? Yes, because I'm gathering ideas, and these kids are whip smart. And I'm excited about the future of ag because these are our future leaders. These are our next generation. And I'm confident that we're in good hands moving forward because there are just some excellent young people out there that are as equally passionate as we are about, agriculture and how do we continue to support our nation. And it's really important. We do really important work. And I think that they're going to take us on into the future. And I'm really excited to see over the next 10, 20, 30 years how we morph and it kind of change into as an industry.
Yeah, absolutely. And one thing, Nicole, that I wanted to just add on to that, you had mentioned collaboration a little bit earlier. And the one thing that I really loved getting out of those conversations was that we were learning things and programs that other farm bureaus across the country have implemented. I know in Maricopa County specifically, a large part of our county is Phoenix proper. So those are the people that are making decisions for the rest of the county, essentially. And it's like, okay, cool. How can we take a program that's being implemented in New York for urban agriculture, and how can we maybe tweak it or apply some kind of similar program that's working for them there here? So those are where those ideas came from. And I know I came away with probably 5 pages of notes that I can't wait to dig a little bit deeper into. But as a new member of Arizona Farm Bureau, I just can't wait. I want to dive into every opportunity available to me, and I feel supported in that. I don't feel that my opinion is going to be looked over or not heard. I feel like I do have a voice at the table, and that is just so empowering.
It really is. And you touched on it a little bit. We have so many ideas and notes from, this entire week that we've been here. And for me, I know I have to tamper it down a little bit and pick what is a priority for us. And, and that depends on your county, on your region. Your problems they're not unique per se, but they may differ from region to region. But you've got the best part, you've got that collaboration that you can work with. And it's I know one of my old mentors used to say, just R&D it. Just talk to somebody else out there. Rip off and duplicate.
I love that.
And, you're not ripping anybody off, but just the sharing of ideas is so valuable. You can't put a price on that. And, there's other regions across the country that are facing the same issues that we do. And, most of it's about education, whether it's your legislators or the public. It's just about education. And people are so hungry for that knowledge. They want to know where their food comes from. I say as a elder millennial, right? We were some of our generation, our parents' generation, were some of the first ones to experience microwaves and TV dinners and all of this, this kind of beginning of the processed food world. And now you kind of see it circling back around, right? They just want whole, good, real food, right? Real families, real farms, real food. We say it all the time because it's true and that's what it is. But people want to get back to that, and they want to know where it comes from. They want to understand what they're buying on the grocery shelf made it start, right? How was it grown? Where was it grown? How did it get here? How did it go from a field to, canned green beans? And as Farm Bureau, I think, we have a great opportunity to share that information, which is the whole premise of the podcast. So welcome. But I'm excited that we can, work on this and be able to share this, with our communities. And Farm Bureau is an integral part of our community here in Phoenix, especially. We're out in the community all the time. And I'll see you in a couple of weeks at our Farm City Breakfast, May 25th, 26th, and 27th.
Good plug there. And one thing too, so, talking about advocating and talking about getting into our communities and telling our stories, that was something that came up a ton, was how to tell our story, how to be confident telling our story. And one thing that I thought was really special about this conference was the amount of breakout rooms there were. I don't even know. I didn't take count of how many there were, but I think we had the option of like 3 or 4 times a day.
Yeah.
So we had one in the morning, one in the afternoon, and one in the afternoon again. And Nicole, I'm curious, did you have a favorite one or one that like really stuck out in your head about what you got from it?
Oh, I mean, yeah, I have one that stuck out significantly because it pushed me to the levels of my comfort zone. But again, that's what I'm here for. I'm here to grow. So the fact that, I put myself in that situation and I powered through it and I was uncomfortable the whole time. But learning these things about yourself and about how you operate, and that only helps you to tell your story. And I think, I kind of growing up in agriculture, you see that a lot. You don't want to open your farm gates to people and let them in and see because you're scared. And media kind of does a good job of scaring farmers. And at the end of the day, like if you always kind of think, well, somebody else will do that. I don't need to do that. But why not you? Why not share your story? My story personally is a lot different than everybody else's too. And if I can share that and kind of open that door and build that bridge across and build these relationships, and that's only going to help agriculture and our consumers and our communities. And I live here and I love living here and I only want our communities to thrive. So how do we do that together?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think for me, I was also in that same breakout session with you, and it was all kinds of uncomfy. But again, like it grows you as a person. It teaches you how to be in certain situations and how to put your best foot forward no matter what situation you're in. I think for me, the most impactful breakout that I was in, and I'm not a producer. Again, I'm in the middle of Mesa, so I don't have honestly any connection to a ranch or farm close to me even. But I went to a protein supply chain breakout, and it was really interesting hearing from different professionals from across the supply chain. We had a rancher, we had a representative from Merck, and then we had a representative from JBS. And it was really interesting to hear what they had to say about what's going on in each of their sectors to help improve the beef supply chain and even some of the challenges that we're continuing to see as we're heading into 2025. We're not going to see the supply increase at any time soon. So what are some of the things that we're trying to maybe prevent that in the future, how they're helping ranchers, and then what it was like from a rancher's perspective. So really, really enlightening. The guest speaker that we had yesterday, Temple Grandin.
Yes,
phenomenal. Phenomenal.
If you've never heard of Dr. Temple Grandin, I highly suggest a quick Google. There's a ton of information out there. She's written books. She's spoke all over the country and the world. And it was interesting to me because, being at a Farm Bureau conference, I kind of just expected her to expand on her work with livestock handling. But she dove into a lot of kind of the personal side of her life and shared about her journey with autism and how it helped her, how it hindered her, how she used it as a tool for success for herself, and how everybody's just a little bit different, but we all work together. I think that was probably one of the most impactful things, coming away from this is sometimes I feel like, I'm doing all these things, but am I doing them all well? Or, have I spread myself too thin? Or, I wish I was better at this. But that's the things. I don't have to be excellent at everything. I can be excellent at a few things and use my community and my resources for the people that are excellent at those things that I don't excel in. And, sometimes just being reminded of that is all you need. But it was such a great kind of eye-opening presentation, and she's a wonderful human being. And, I highly encourage anybody, if you have the opportunity, even just pick up her book and read it because it's absolutely fascinating.
Yeah, absolutely. I 1000% agree with you. And I think that it was really refreshing that she just kind of drove home the fact that we need everyone. It doesn't matter, again, what your background is. It doesn't matter. She really dove into 3 different personality types and how you need all of them to achieve something. One doesn't work without the other. And I think that just goes to show that, we've said it enough here that you have a place at the table, regardless of what cards you've been dealt. Then your story is going to affect people and touch people differently. You're going to bring in a different demographic than someone else. I'm going to bring in different demographics than you are. And I think that going into that mindset and becoming a member of Farm Bureau, or even expanding your membership. If you are a member and you haven't been to one of these conferences or you haven't considered any kind of leadership, is like, no, I can do it regardless really of anything. Like you can do it, period. That's it.
Absolutely. All of these opportunities are available to all of our members. And it's priceless, to be honest. There's so much available in Farm Bureau to you for personal advancement, professional growth, just all sorts of things. And so I really, would encourage everyone, take a gander at the website, maricopacountyfb.org. We've got events every month that are happening. Check out the calendar, RSVP, and join us. And if you have questions, reach out. All of our contact information is out there. It's truly a great and unique opportunity to be a part of this organization. And on that note, take a look at our calendar, but we do have some great events that are coming up. I encourage you to reach out and join us at these events. Our March PEAL meetup, which PEAL stands for Promote, Educate, Advocate, and Learn. It is Pi Day coming up. If you don't know what Pi Day is, 3.14 pi. So we're doing it a day early, but on March 13th, we will be distributing pies to every senator and every representative at the Capitol in Phoenix. We would love to have you, and you can RSVP on our website. And at the end of this month will be our 3 events of our Farm City Breakfast. And these are open to everyone. So, take a look at the website. The first one is March 25th in Mesa, March 26th in Buckeye, and March 27th in North Phoenix. So take a look, RSVP to whichever one works best for you, and we look forward to seeing you there. Thanks for tuning in to Arizona Aggies this week. And next week, join us for a chat about women in agriculture with our State Women Leadership Chair, Sean Wood, as we celebrate the International Day of Women in Agriculture. Catch you next week.
Thank you for tuning in today. And remember, Farm Bureau has a place for you. Be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share this episode with your friends on socials. You can also visit our website, maricopacountyfb.org, for more information and to submit a topic you want to learn about. Remember to tune in every Wednesday wherever you listen to podcasts. A huge thank you to Paloma Ready Mix and Materials for supporting our agriculture producers and this podcast. Maricopa County Farm Bureau, bringing you the stories of real families, real farms, and real food. I'm Nicole Clements, signing off. Catch you next week.